not be talking like I am. I had a conversation with the winner here as he was leaving earlier. And you can't understand him. Because the frame of his thinking is totally off. It's totally off from humanity. And I think that's a trading thing. It's a thing about how our policemen and women trained.
Okay.
Because before they are trained, they're usually very good. They're no more like me and you. We can reason together. But now, after that training and the deployment, they become, we have an enmity. Like they start hating you, you start looking like you will commit a crime, and they will not. You know, that's
there are those who would argue not all police are bad, right?
No,
but there is the Samson.
No, I don't agree with that, Olives, because I mean the narrative of not all police are bad and that we just have a few apples that are bad is also a tired one. Tired in the sense that the few that are bad are doing a lot of damage.
Yeah,
they are doing a lot of killings. They are doing a lot of extrajudicial executions. They are doing a lot of corruption. So the talk is about, can we clean the entire system? And we have the software, we have the hardware for doing that, but we've refused to do it. So it's not that all are bad.
All right, so let me ask you, Wangeshi, are there two sets of rules? And I ask, like, you know what Kawive is saying, that if you're not in power, then you're a potential criminal. And I ask that question because aside from this whole narrative that's been posed as the protesters are the aggressors, you've not seen accountability where the goons that infiltrated the protests on Tuesday is concerned. We've seen a lot of political distancing statements from Johnson Sakaja, but he says known individuals. So what, has he recorded a statement with police? And then again, you have statements such as Kamket made,
yes,
which are reckless, outrightly reckless statements. And still nobody is calling that out. There's a very loud silence.
Spot on, Olive, and that's what I wanted to really speak to. Kamket makes all these crazy, I don't even know what to call them, pronouncements. And he's saying, we will, how many of you want to go to Nairobi? Oh, you know, let me tell you, from when he's made those statements, there has been zero action. Unless he was arrested last night, which I'm not aware of, no one has taken any action whatsoever. So it is true what Kawive is saying. We have two sets of rules. There are rules for those who are, and there are rules for those who are thought to be criminals, to those who will cause, you know, havoc, to those who are rioting. By the way, it's not rioting. And I want us to look at these pictures because they really mean a lot. You can see people, look at all this audience. They have zero weapon. From where I sit, I have not seen a single weapon with the protesters. They're carrying placards and showing them. They have a national flag, patriotic, you know, that they have tied on their on parts of their bodies, and they are chanting because it's a memory that they are making. There's not a single one of them who's carrying a weapon. Now, you're faced by police who are well equipped. You have seen the trucks, you've seen, you know, they're armed. So when it comes to managing law and order, and allow me to quickly read some of the do's and don'ts that are provided for, and the police know these do's and don'ts. One of the things is crowd management and the need for de-escalation. The Public Order Management Act says...
Okay, so before you get into the do's and don'ts, I just want us to get a sense of what the mood is out there. Let's just listen a little bit and listen to the natural sounds coming out of Mombasa. So we're hearing there a lot of what we had. Remember on June 18th, and the We Are Peaceful chants.
Yes.
Maybe Wakili should advise them we are peaceable.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the do's and don'ts.
And that's why, that's an important clip that we have seen. So some of the do's and don'ts say, use nonviolent methods to manage and de-escalate situations to avoid unnecessary force. The police are trained on how to de-escalate. And all they need to do is calm the crowd and also detect who are the people who are infiltrating and who are the peaceful protesters. Number 2, ensure access to medical aid to anyone joining. Allow lawyers to access clients in custody. Wear official uniform. Be identifiable in badge number to promote accountability. Maintain records of all enforcement actions and provide transparency to the public. Respect and protect people's rights and individuals to express their views and assemble peacefully. So all these are provided for in law. And there are also do's and don'ts for the public. But some of the don'ts for the police: don't use excessive force in such as unlawful use of tear gas and rubber bullets. Don't obstruct medical personnel from performing their duties. Don't infringe on the rights of journalists and monitors, those who are monitoring. Those are some of the do's and don'ts, right? The public also has their do's and don'ts. Give the notification. By the way, you're not supposed to be asking for permission to hold a protest. You just give a notification that we'll be going to protest and pass our petition on this day. We will use the following routes, and the times are between 6 and 6. That is what is provided in law. So back to the question around, condoning. 6 to 6 is actually the time that the law provides for in terms of protest. So if there was to be any condoning, it should have closed at 6, and 6 in the evening they can condone if they want to. But it shouldn't be an open condoning. So in regards to what is happening today, and just going back to our clarion call, the police service, as we call it, is supposed to be utumishi kwa wote. And I do agree. Protect the business, protect the protesters. We all have rights. But today, let's not digress and start talking about anything else, including the politicians. Today, let it be a day to commemorate the memories of those who lost their lives, the memories of those who were abducted, tortured for days on end, in a lot of pain. Yesterday, I listened to Bob Jage, I listened to the Long-Term Brothers, I listened to a lot of survivors who are expressing their pain. Let us give them their